straight off of like Shannon, between Shannon and Dirt to the east.
Oh, that road where there's no houses on.
Yeah, but that goes all the way down to
What are
the,
we gonna do now?
they were gonna come down, pretty much straight down there.
And they go across the field.
Yeah, no, you gotta be,
Well, let's get them.
you can't, they're 1/2 mile separation between Shannon's and Elizabeth.
That's next.
Oh, it is next.
Oh, I forgot.
You ready? We'll go back into session and Willie,
What?
you have a whole bunch of people here.
That means I don't have to talk.
Well, I think, you know, you can introduce them.
This is Jonathan, he was the one responsible for the install, Roger was the design, and Doug is our architect. And Chris is with climate controls, the control guy, you know him. And Ron's here too.
Yep. Okay, so who's gonna take it away? We have issues with the controls.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. Again, Roger Lesher, the engineer of record for the project. The project consists of replacing 16 rooftop units. The existing rooftop units were training units, and replace them pretty much with in-kind rooftop units with a little bit upgraded efficiency associated with the new units. The units had a delay in shipping. I will say we've seen delay in shipping not just from Train, but units across the spectrum from all manufacturers. And the delay tends to be in the compressors that all manufacturers use. They tend to use the same compressors and install them in their units. On top of that, we do have a delay in the control boards for the units. This is something that I haven't seen across all manufacturers, but you know, control boards, like everything else in this odd world we have, do have a computer chip associated with it. So the units are installed. They are using the original controls from the 16 units that were removed in anticipation of getting the new 16 control boards. Talked to the manufacturer last Thursday. They have 2 of the 16 control boards that were just shipped last week. There is no word as of 9 o'clock this morning when the remaining 14 will ship.
That was one of the reasons that we put everything in new, was because of the controls, am I wrong?
Correct.
So not having new controls is kind of sore spot with us.
Yeah, there's a couple different options to move forward. Really, the 2 options that make sense would be install third-party controls. Climate Control has the ability to do that. There's a detriment though if you do that. The manufacturer, to get the high efficiencies, and this is across all manufacturers, when you use a variable speed compressor, the variable speed compressor allows you better humidity control and associated energy savings. To get that function, you have to use the factory controls. A third party cannot control that function or it would void warranty. So that leaves us 2 options. If you were to install third-party controls, you would get the controls on the central control system and you could close out your project. But you would lose that energy savings and a little bit of creature comfort. Or we could continue to run the units on the existing thermostat without being able to tie into the central system. You still have heating and cooling. Right now, you do not have that efficiency that's associated with the variable speed control, and you don't have it tied into the central system, and wait for the new control boards to come in.
So when's your opinion on when the other 14 will come in?
You know, if this were a question 2 years ago, I could answer that. My best opinion is I would hope that they would be in within the next couple months. But this is a weird world we live in. That's just my best guess. I can't even say it's really an opinion, it would just be my best guess. I'm hopefully optimistic because we did receive 2 of the 16, and I have heard other Train offices have been receiving the control boards. But then that's, where my, optimism would, just have to stop because we only did receive 2 of the 16.
So your efficiencies would be greater as the temperature would warm up, or am I wrong to assume that?
Correct, that is a cooling function, not a heating function. You do lose some efficiencies too, actually not being tied to your central system. When you're tied to the central system, you can set occupancy times, you can, and do some other functions. Plus troubleshooting, you would lose those functions also until the boards come in. Or you do a third-party controller.
So the third-party controller would take some of the efficiencies away and would void warranty.
No, it would not void the warranty. You would lose the variable speed compressor. The units, some of the units are 2-speed, the third-party controller could control it for 2-speed compressor, and that would, the warranty would remain. You only would void warranty if the third-party controller tries to control the variable speed.
No, that's not what I want to do.
So Roger, I don't know if you can see what the guy has controls.
So, yeah, as far as the warranty goes, we're not ripping anything out of the rooftop unit, so that is a moot point. We're basically putting a controller on that would act as a thermostat, but I would write the program for it, much like I've done in this building. I've messed around with those rooftops, and they may not modulate as well as they would with the back neck cards in them, but they do modulate. I can do that as simply with a wire on there, and you just put it on there, we watch the display on the unit. As far as the troubleshooting goes, there's a display in every rooftop unit, so all the information is on that rooftop. You may lose a little bit of information that we would be able to pull out of the unit because it would be our controller versus the card that came from the manufacturer. But as far as the efficiency goes, you haven't had economizers operational on those rooftop units for probably
22 years.
22 years. So any efficiency you're losing on the compressor side, we're gonna gain tenfold by running economizers and using those to cool, just like we've been doing in this building. We've been cooling the building in the winter when we're not running the chiller. So it's gonna be a very similar style that way. The biggest reason why they weren't running economizers was due to a fire years ago, and the prisoners were complaining about the smoke. There's things we can do to try to mitigate that here in the future. If that was an issue, we can shut it all down remotely. We don't need to worry about that as an issue, so.
So I guess my question is, until the other 14 come, can we run them off the controls that we have now without doing any damage?
The controls that they have now, that's what they're operating right on now, and it is the existing thermostat that's in the space. Yes, they would operate without damage. And continue
Is
to
that
keep
one option that we should, is that a good option or a bad option?
to run them on the existing controls until the train control boards come in.
Yeah.
That would be my recommendation.
That's what I think would be best, but I'm just,
I got one question. What happens when we don't have any thermostats left? If one of them shit out, and there's one in the dispatch right now, that if it pulls off the wall, it don't work. It has to just hang there and don't touch it.
He said there's 2 thermostats right here.
Two control boards.
So you
Control
can
board.
put one of those in, one craps out.
That's up to you guys.
I have a price to put our own controls on, and I have all the parts available. So I've ordered parts prior to this project just because of inventory constraints and everything going on. So I have 16 controllers, 16 thermostats, plenty of current sensors, and plenty of temp sensors. So just throwing it as an option out there.
Yeah, as the engineer, I'm not opposed to a third-party control option. I just want everybody to know that there will be a little bit of efficiency loss associated with it. And that is truly something that we did pay an upgrade for the units on.
well, I have a problem with not getting what we paid for, I guess. I don't know what anybody else says.
I agree.
What's that?
Yeah, I guess the question is what would that add to the contract be to, put third-party controls on in lieu of the, train controls?
1645 per unit, so it'd be 26,320 would be the proposal that we have.
Say that in dollars, 26.
Total would be $26,320 to put our controllers on, our thermostats. We would be tying that in with the system, similar to the way that it would have been, but it'd be our controllers, our programming, and the labor to put that stuff in there.
Funded is through ARPA.
So we get money back from the other ones, the other 16 then?
I can't speak on that, I didn't provide that equipment.
What would that money be?
It was, it would just be the price of the controllers. What Train said was, somewhere around
$4,500. $4,500 to not have Train supply the 16 backnet cards.
You guys realize that we funded this through ARPA? And we really aren't supposed to add cost onto it on that backside. So I do have an issue with that. So you want a decision from us today, Willie?
I don't care. I mean, to me, we've been pretty gracious and I understand that they can't control it, but we had a completion date back in May.
I know.
With actually no end in sight right now. I mean, we're just guessing.
And how do you put a price on something you can't get your hands on?
Well, the price of the 14 controllers is locked in, correct?
the price of the additional 14 controllers is part of the project.
Yeah, that ain't price ain't gonna change.
Right.
And Train's gonna cover the installation, they're gonna bring up their own technicians out of Des Moines to install those in the field. So I mean, if you wait for the new boards, there's no price change. I mean, other than the time.
Units and time yet.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I don't wanna add another 26,000 to the cost of the project.
No.
Yeah, my quick math, that delta would be about 21,600.
Well, I don't wanna add that much either.
No.
So go ahead and try put a hurry up on the controllers if you can.
Yeah, we've been putting as much pressure on it as we can, and, yeah, again, I do understand that there's a limit to your patience, and, there very well might come I could understand if you would wanna move forward with the third-party controls and get the project cleared out. I mean,
The
that-
problem
that's-
I'm having is that this delay is affecting me the most because I can't finish my part. The units are on the roof, they're running.
Yeah,
I can't do anything else, but I'm the one that's gonna be eating most of these costs. I mean, that's the part that's very frustrating about this whole thing when it's supposed to be done in May. Now we're pushing into 2023, so that's really the only piece that I have in this. And this whole thing that gets frustrating is that this was brought up 6 months ago. And this was the original proposal, this is what we were asking for in the first place with this whole project. And it's been a very confusing part up to this point, so that's my 2 cents on it. So I guess if there's cost run over, I guess that's something that'll have to be addressed, because this is not acceptable on my side of where I come from. I got a lot of business going on, so.
Speaking from a climate controls perspective, the units got delayed first, and then the units were supposed to ship with the cards. The units did not come with the cards, and then we were supposed to get the cards separate, and we got 2 of the 16. Yeah, I do understand that they're basically sitting here not able to finish the project. But outside of, you don't continue to have time in the project, do you?
I'm here today for a meeting, it keeps going, and we still don't have a date. We keep putting a date on it, but nobody, I understand it's trained, but we can't finish the project. And that's where it becomes frustrating, is that this isn't, this is a problem that happens on a lot of projects, that the projects get delayed, and then the people at the end are the ones that get the shaft, and it's just very frustrating from a complete standpoint here of, we're waiting on something that was promised that was gonna be in the units, and then they're not, and now we're still waiting. And I haven't seen the two installed, and I mean, maybe they just shipped, but we still don't have a date, and I guess that's the part where I'm frustrated, is that the emails that I've been getting stated, if we don't have an answer by the 15th, then we need to come here. But if we're just coming here to have a more extension, that's where I guess I'm a little frustrated by that standpoint, because when's the end date? When do I actually finish my part? That's
You have to talk to the guy behind you.
no, I know, that's what I'm getting at, though, is it just drags on for a long time. And
I understand your problem, but it's beyond what we.
yeah, no, I get it, you guys gotta do what you gotta do, that's where it just seems like we keep getting pushed back by train, and it's not
So
actually
where-
getting anywhere.
So give us an answer from the train people, what, are you
They
not,
can't.
I mean, are you not
Train's not
making
here.
any controllers right now?
Train ain't here,
Oh,
just the installer and the guy that
Yeah.
proposed the project.
so does anybody know, I mean, are they just not making any controllers at all?
They're not able to get the chips to make the controller. It's the computer chip shortage.
Same thing happened to the cars,
Yes.
They have had several offices within the United States that have gotten their 200 card allocation. Train Des Moines has promised us the first 16 that come in are going directly to this project, because they know this has been such an ordeal for all of us since it bid last December, so taking them on their word, we're gonna get the first 16 cards they have to. Obviously, like Roger said, we don't know if that's in 2 weeks, we don't know if that's in 2 months. I'm willing to contact them. If Ron or Willie can give me the information on the current controllers you're using, I can get a hold of the control guys at Train, see if they're demoing a job, they've got something laying around in a box, see if they can come up with a couple controllers as an act of good faith, just based on the fact that they've kind of put us all over a barrel over this thing. So, I mean, I'm willing to reach out and do whatever I can on my end, so.
I'd appreciate it if you would do that.
I know I'll try.
If you can find one, I would take it, just to have it
Yeah.
sitting in.
On eBay, $6.55 is the best I've found.
Yeah, so I'll get the information from Ron and Willie, see what we can come up with.
I'd appreciate that.
And they do, they always.
As far as the contractor, I see what you're talking about, but it's
Yeah.
way beyond our control.
Deal?
Yeah. Anything else? Ron?
Okay, well,
Just frustrating.
Yep.
put the pressure
Paying for
on.
something we ain't got.
Okay.
Okay,
World ain't supposed to be perfect, but it's not supposed to be quite this bad either.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, appreciate you coming in.
I'll take them over, take a picture of it.
Thank you. As long as we have our IT person here, should we jump up to the telephone?
I could come back too, guys, I don't know what you're, just want to be doing.
And then it's back in order, do the tip out, just take a second.
I lost my tip.
amended tax increment.
Oh, there it is.
No.
Oh, that's,
We can wait till, I just have no.
Who's got one?
let's do tip.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Oh, then just get take 1 second.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Perfect.
gonna
Okay,
be
hold
long.
on.
Okay.
Okay, so I just made an error on the last one. I forgot to add a levy when I was calculating, the tip for Buffalo Township. And so it's just decreased by, $100 some dollars. So
Okay.
it went from 81,599 to 88,891, so just a little bit of a difference.
8891, that's not correct.
88,891.
It's the correct,
What?
it's the correct amount.
Yes.
80,891.
Correct.
Sorry.
So So I would like a motion to approve the chairperson to sign the certificate of indebtedness to TIF increment financing for $80,891. Motion by Plath, do I have a second by Loss?
Second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Derek, phones, I got the right page on this. Gets me paid.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm gonna
While
slide
you over a little.
Space, yeah.
Do you wanna? No, that's good enough for me.
That one of them don't work, Doug.
No,
Yeah.
that one fixed.
I need the ladder.
Yeah, we can see it.
We fixed it.
Okay, so last year during budget negotiations, we talked about the need for a new phone system. We got board approval to get that done for this fiscal year. We've got the final pricing. Reminder on why we're doing a new phone system is, number one is our current phone system is 10 years old. It's a Toshiba system. Toshiba sold their phone business about 5 years ago to Mitel. When they did that, Mitel came in and said, hey, we'll give you all new phones, but you had to go with the hosted solution. And you'll see why in a couple minutes why we didn't do that. It's significantly more expensive to go with the hosted solution. So when Mitel bought the business, they quit selling licenses for the Toshiba and quit supporting it directly. So we've been running for about 4 or 5 years without that support. So if something were to fail, we'd be kind of dead in water. The other part of that conversation is that we just had a federal risk assessment, and one of the results of the risk assessment was that our current phone system has some significant vulnerabilities. One of its core pieces runs Windows 7, and so we have to do something about that box as well. So our savings, so our 10-year cost with the new phone system, the county portion, we're looking at saving about $110,000. The PD and dispatch portion, we're looking at saving about $24,000. The clerk of courts, I didn't include their cost savings because that's not directly for us, but they'll have some savings as well. But the budgets that you guys directly support will have a significant reduction. What we looked at as far as percentages, the county portion, it's kind of hard to read, but the percentages are based off the number of phones, physical phones that we have in the buildings. We have 121 phones between all the agencies that we support. The county portion is 74%, which is a $60,000 investment. PD portion is 12%, dispatch is 2%. The court has 11%, and then we've got some of the other offices as well that'll get billed their portion. So we looked at multiple systems. Number one, I think we've got really two options. Number one is we do nothing, and our 10-year total on that is about $243,000. Buying the new system is about $133,000 over the same 10-year period. Our three alternate quotes came in at $167,000, $288,000, and $300,000. And those are the hosted options, so they're significantly more expensive. So I'm looking for a motion by the board to approve the phone system and then authorize the chairman to sign that quote. Yes.
Dependability, usability.
It'll be the same as what we've got now. The Toshiba's are very reliable, phones will be the same. We did talk to Mr. Heidner, he's got a couple of these out in his other businesses, and he's had great luck with the phones, and the phone system, so I'm not concerned about that. And our cost savings, I did include 2% increase on phone bills every year, and then I put $5,000 in maintenance from year 5 to year 10. The first 5 years of maintenance and support is all covered, that. And then we'll have a few phones, we've got some power users that will have Outlook integration as well, so they'll be able to use Outlook to dial calls, and then when inbound calls appear, they'll show in Outlook as well as who the caller is, so.
So I saw on one of the websites, like, long distance charging stuff, but our carrier's still gonna be AMU.
Our carrier's still gonna be EMU. We looked at doing an outside vendor, but the service that we get from them and the support that we get from having someone right in town here is significantly better, so we stayed with them. Long distance is 7 cents a minute, which I think is what we paid on, so. But yeah, the SIP trunks will be the savings, and then because we're not getting billed individually by department, we can share 24 phone lines where we have 41 right now, so that's part of savings. Yes? Are you?
So we need a motion to go with Midwest NEC.
Yes.
Does anybody like to make that motion?
And to authorize the chairman to sign.
And authorize the chairman to sign the code. I will move that we go with Midwest NEC and authorize the chairman to sign the code. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Platt. Any more discussion? Hearing none, do a roll call vote, please.
Casey,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Jerks.
Yes. You got it.
Thank you. And then Lori and Doug were very helpful in testing phones and going through this process as well. So thank you guys for being part of that. I appreciate that.
You're gonna get me the paper to sign?
Yes, it's in my office. I'll grab it. Do you want the projector on?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We're up to Doug. Signed 2080 agreement with the Iowa Department.
That's Nick. That's Nick.
Nick Graham, yeah.
That's Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a long day.
Morning. Morning, sir.
You're up, Nick.
Okay, good.
2080 agreement?
Yep, between, Iowa Department and Transportation and Kossuth County, dealing with driver's license.
Okay.
I mean, Todd reviewed it, and said it looked good, and, just, looks like they're just doing a little housekeeping.
How come they have 3 pages of looking good?
Huh?
Fine.
There's several pages. Not every page had any changes.
So is this something we sign every year, or? is it-
Yeah,
This is.
hasn't been signed since 17. So like I said, they're just kind of doing some upkeeping or housekeeping and bringing some things up to date.
Would I have a motion to approve the 2080 agreement between Iowa Department of Transportation and Kossuth County?
So
Moved by Mr. Ross, second by Platt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye, please. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, now if you have the one right here, Roger's son?
Yes.
Is everything populated that? Okay, yeah. That's done that. Yeah.
We're making it all legal.
Yep, and then if I get a copy of that, then I gotta send that to the DOT, and then I think I gotta send another copy then too. I wanna email a copy of it to them, so like.
I just get a, and then I handed it to you. And
Good.
you can have that right now. And then we
It's
will file,
important to have driver's license, I guess.
will you,
People seem to like it.
Yeah.
and
It's
you'll,
pretty handy.
you'll file the 2080 then?
They do. I think
Oh,
the state does.
they're gonna file
I think the state does.
it? Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So are we supposed to do that often or remember this or?
No.
No.
No, just whenever they send it saying, okay, we have some
Okay,
updates and things like that. No, we're good.
sounds good.
We're good.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You bet. Thank you. Thanks, man. Have a good day.
Now we're up to secondary road equipment purchase.
Yes, last week we spoke a little bit about, get the right folder here. Requested some quotes from Ziegler Cat and Altorfer Cat for a 289 D3 compact track loader, trading in our 2009 279C. This way we would, but first of all, the 279 needs approximately what's been estimated $35,000 of repairs. And I believe that for under 60,000 with the trade, we would be able to have a new one that would be compatible with the one we just purchased. So I have a bid from Altorfer and Ziegler, and I'll read them. I guess I have Ziegler first, so I'll open up that quote. Gotta get my pen, there we go. Okay, so Ziegler has a base bid for the 289 of $84,469. $84,469. And trade value of $23,500. So the purchase price would be $60,969. And Altorfer's quote is $91,350, and they have a trade of $22,000 for the 279, so that would be $69,350 for purchase price. I believe that I included a motion. Did I include a motion with your
We don't have it.
information? Well, I'd request that the board would go ahead and approve the Ziegler Cat purchase for $84,469. I might have that available here. I could print it too.
I don't see any packet under engineering done that.
All right,
We didn't.
I apologize. I think I got that document.
Just, I didn't find it.
No, I didn't write one. I can quickly do it.
Do you want us to make a motion to approve it?
Yeah, it would read,
Have-
motion by, seconded by to approve the purchase of a 2023, better verify that,
Should we do 923?
Did you get it right away? Was there a week?
March 15.
Too bad.
It says a 289 D3 compact track loader for $84,469, less the trade for the 2009 Caterpillar 279C for $23,500 for a net purchase price of $60,969. I apologize for not getting that to you.
Who would like to make that motion? Motion by Platt. I'll second it. Any discussion? Hearing none, do a roll call vote?
Casey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Plath,
Yes.
Jerks.
Yes.
Thank you. And there was no, there's no request for construction of the road right away. Just kind of bring you up with the road department and zoning. The Irvington Bridge, I've been in contact and I will be calling that contractor again today. They still have cleanup, they have some things to strip, but my intention is to still get that thing constructed, get that open to traffic. They are 30 days over their allotted time, $1,000 per day liquidated damages, and I've informed them of that, and at this time they are not saying anything to me, but we are continuing to assess liquidated damages whether they are working or not right now. So, but I'm trying to put as much pressure on them as I can. The bridge up in Lincoln Township, the work has been suspended. The two wind power projects, they're pretty much suspended as well with the weather. Both of them have, for the roads, very minor work that needs to be done, and they can do it next year. We have an open position in the mechanic shop. I've interviewed 2 people for the Titanca position, and I'm getting background checks for those, and I'll make a decision to whether or not to offer or not at this time. Other than that, we did have a meeting down in Des Moines, the engineers conference last week. There's an all systems permit. I don't know if the board is aware of that people can buy $500 and drive on all roads in the state, except for the interstate. That all systems permit now is going to have a 12% increased load on that. Kossuth County, we are going to participate in that. The permit is $500. Counties will be dividing up 75% of that for whoever participates. So there will be a little bit of revenue there, but there will be heavier loads out on our roads as well. So we are participating.
So who can apply for that permit then?
Anyone.
So like,
But it can only go up, it can increase like an 80,000 pound load from 80,000 to 96.
Do they have to have the access to support that then?
Well, they're supposed to have their axles still 20,000, and tandems can go up just a little bit greater.
Right. But
So-
if you don't have a third axle on your grain trailer, you're not gonna go to 96.
Well, you're allowed to,
And
but
it's your
for
axle.
the gross load, but it'll be difficult with the axle loadings as well. So, that's gonna be I think it's a difficult one. It's similar, it
So that's the
wasn't,
proclamation she puts in every year anyway, correct? You got her?
well, the proclamation, the intent, I believe, was to make that proclamation permanent. But they just went ahead and said, all loads divisible or indivisible. It doesn't have to be anything that's agriculturally related. So if a guy has a machine that he's hauling, all over the place, it's, 90,000 pounds instead of 80, and meets the axle requirements, then that $500 permit would be the way to go instead of getting single trips and all that.
That's for the whole year?
That's for a year, yes.
Pretty inexpensive.
What's that?
Pretty inexpensive.
Yes, it is when you start talking
Get
about,
stopped once.
all right. So other than that, I'll type up that motion, Tammy, and bring it up to you, or email it to you or something, so. I don't know if the board has any questions of me at all.
So Saturday late afternoon, I was coming home from the farm,
Okay,
and I went down that Galveston Road,
right,
and the south lane completely bare, where they milled it. There's about this much ice on the north side of the road, and then there's a strip about this big going right where your tires are driving. And as soon as where they quit milling it, there wasn't nothing on the blacktop again. So how they milled it, the road grader, you can't get the snow and ice off. And it's, like I said, it was solid ice.
yeah.
Strips.
You mentioned that, and I gotta get down there sometime, look at that, I don't know.
Probably hasn't thawed.
No, it hasn't, so.
That and, he comes zipping through Saturday. I knew the wind was still blowing, but he still came through Irvington on Saturday, made a pass. And then, sitting at the breakfast table Sunday morning, church starts at 8:30 in Irvington. People start getting to church at 7:30, quarter to 8. 9 o'clock, you come to town and move to town to Irvington. It's like you can't get through with all the church people.
Yeah,
So you might wanna come a little earlier if he ever goes out on Sundays.
yeah, I mean, that's just,
Yeah. He
he's
got there
running
when he
his
get there.
pavements first, and then
Yeah.
that's when he got there, so.
But the road that he didn't have to get, I had half it cleaned off, and Red had the other half cleaned off, so he was pretty good on that road
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah,
And there's a person that lives on that blue house right down the road from me.
which direction?
South.
Okay,
You might wanna talk to him. He's got a trailer parked right on the side of the road, and the snowplow has to go like this to go around him. He's got a trailer full of metal, and he was working on a project,
The
and when it
hay?
got cold, yeah, it got cold, it's just sitting there now.
all right,
Everybody gotta drive around it.
yeah, all right.
I mean, I know Rasmussen can get it moved. But he's got, his driveway's empty, back it in there and work on it.
Yeah, Witham, Dick Witham, he lived there, right?
Right
on
across the road from there.
Right across the road, and, it was Barney.
Yep.
Barney moved one of his vehicles one time with the blade, and I got some rear end chewed off on that one, so.
Yeah, Barney was good.
Thank the guys that are covering tight. They were out this morning covering tight.
Yeah, the community, that's the village taking care of that, so we got a lot of people going around there, but yeah, they keep communicating, they just know where they're supposed to, they've redrawn their districts, so thank you. Glad it's working.
It's working.
Good.
Appreciate it, Doug.
You're welcome, yeah.
Anything else for Doug?
The boys coming out for Christmas this year, won't they? The weather's looking.
I'll tell you Monday.
Saturday wind and Sunday's Christmas.
Yeah. No, See, right now, yeah, that wind is really, just see how much snow we get, I guess.
Thank you, Doug. Merry Christmas.
I'll be up here with that drainage district procedure,
Okay,
so I'll stay up here.
that's next. So with that, we will dispense with county and go into drainage. Marge, first thing I have on the agenda for drainage is procedures and conditions for construction and drainage district right of way.
That was email, and it should be in your electronic folder in the drainage. Or I guess I didn't email it, it's in the drainage portion of it. Get the right one. And there is a motion on there as well. I don't know if you need that, Marge. I kind of just reformatted it, but the only change that I made in there was that it be on sheet 4 of 14, under 1, the application approval process. Paragraph 1, each application, it's kind of in the middle of that paragraph, each application shall be assessed a fee of up to $7,500 for each crossing. That used to read up to $1,000. So just moved, changed 1,000 to 7,500.
The rest of it's all the same.
The rest of all of it is the same, yes.
So do I have a motion to approve the change in construction procedures for drainage districts?
So moved.
Motion by Casey, second by Ross. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Very good then, that's all that I have.
Now it's Merry Christmas.
You guys gonna grab a bite to eat at lunch or anything?
So we get out of here.
Well, if you are, give me a call, otherwise, yes. Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, we'll contact you if we're gonna go on.
Sure.
What did I say?
Yeah, there's a drainage folder.
Building thoughts. Hey, that's in our board packet, correct, Mark?
It's on the drainage.
No, you were just saying.
It was in drainage? I read it once.
It's on the very top.
The top one.
Drainage,
Yeah, the top drainage.
there it was. Does anybody have any concern with just having somebody sign with initials and have the contractor sign with a name that you can't read? I do.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to write his name.
I don't think we could see it now, maybe.
I have no idea who it is, and I don't think that we should take it. We'll put it on the agenda for next week. If that's all right with the rest of you?
Plus is in this in Kyle's area. I think he should be present.
Okay.
So he puts his name on it.
We have one drainage repair, that's just dipping, so I think that we can put that on next week and let Mr.
Okay.
Stecker decide who wants to do it, if it would be appropriate.
Okay.
You're just not gonna dip it this winter anyhow.
No.
Anything else, Mark?
I was at Kim's yesterday, and I thought it was Erpeling's rigs, maybe it was Reitzel's. Two long reaches going, east on 18. Would it be Reitzel's doing that back one stuff, or?
I've gotten 4 bills for them, so they completed 4 of the 6 or 8 that they were gonna do.
So it must have
They're
been,
working on them.
'cause I've seen 2 long reaches, and you don't see too many long reaches around here. Okay,
Yeah, so
They
they're
started.
working on it.
Thank you, Mark.
well, that one, if they gotta try to find the pipe, how are they gonna find it if the ground's a little bit hard enough?
Ain't that right? I'm surprised. No, you can rip right through it, there's not enough moisture,
No, that's true.
Very dry.
Huh.
we dug a hole the other day, I shocked me. Wow. Even with the backhoe, we ripped right through it. No teeth, just, a grater blade welded on the bucket.
Really?
And I'm no good at running this, if I can do it, anybody.
Do you have a starter?
Not that old.
Thank you, Mark.
Jack.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Merry Christmas.
Very
Yeah,
good.
Merry Christmas, Mark. Do you have any committee with Mr. Casey?
Had wellness last, Wednesday. It was in there, the minutes were in the folder. And people called me on that, pipeline and that road, like I said, he approved the road already, so there ain't nothing we can do. They should have ground it down about 2 or 3 inches to put new pavement. But it's been approved, so we can't do nothing about it now. So that's all I got.
Johnny?
Nothing.
Jack?
Got Board of Health tomorrow morning.
I didn't have that from last week, so we're up to time with our auditor.
Okay, reminder, top board meeting at 5 o'clock tonight, here in this room. What?
Some of the numbers kinda high for raises.
There's a lot, I mean, there's, yeah, it was quite surprising, Adam Whitmore from Saragordo County, their commission met this morning or last night, and they did 6% across the board. And that's one of the most reasonable ones I've seen yet, so, yeah, they're very high. Next week, we have approved engineer letter report for private crossing on Drain 4. And the 28th, we swear in the new elected officials and the re-elected officials at 5 o'clock on the 28th. Aunt Gales is going to be here to be able to do that. I'm preparing for the next year's board meeting, January 3rd. And one of the things that you guys have to approve is the eminent domain commission. So I was wondering if you could look through this list quickly and see if there's anybody that you know is either passed away or that cannot be on that commission anymore. And then we can try to replace it before the meeting next week. Department heads are supposed to have their budgets in to me by Friday. I have gotten a few of them back already. So that's going.
Sean's still alive, he just retired from the hospital board.
Well,
We're not gonna let him get off of it.
can they be on it if they're retired from their,
He's not retired, he's retired off the hospital board.
gotcha,
He's still working as a realtor.
okay, gotcha.
Yep.
As far as I know, everybody's still good on that.
And then,
Keith Shroud ain't a banker in Laverne anymore. He went to work there, out on the hill
will you press his name off,
as an underwriter.
please? And
Is that in your area, Casey,
Who?
the one you talked about?
Keith, he's a Laverne banker, says.
Okay.
He lives in Algona, he used to work out of the office here in Algona. We have here.
Where did you see the rates suggested?
I sent you that packet, or,
An
email, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think don't get emails.
It's been a little bit.
Gosh.
I wonder why I don't come in the other folder.
Died. You were at Weber, he's still around, but he doesn't have a farm.
Wasn't there one county that's like 30 something?
Wasn't she the one that her husband's here? They don't know.
33%, 35% in Warren County.
Or, yeah.
Everybody's-
Supervisors, and then, whatever the second one is, sheriff,
Sure, supervisors, they don't deserve anything.
35%. And then,
They're overpaid and underworked.
what was the bottom? Oh, no, that one's not that. Well, 25% for the sheriff in Worth County,
Yeah.
25% for the sheriff in Ringgold County. They're all high percentages.
Good luck.
Oh.
What?
He lived down by, right down, a couple houses down from my sister and brother, I don't think he lives there.
So I have put the packet together for tonight's count board meeting, so that McGuire sent me, so I printed those out, and we should be ready for that.
Chickasaw County,
There must just be a snowbird down there.
So what did they do?
20 across the
This
board.
kid one built that new house by,
Thank you, guys.
heading south out down there.
Huh.
Can't think of his name, he married, Rich.
Oh, well,
He married,
So, and then that's all I have.
Funk.
Oh, except for, I was gonna pass the code out, I think you guys had asked about, meeting mileage, paying, and the code says that,
we can be paid mileage to come to board meetings,
Yeah.
the code says you can, I knew that.
and I asked Todd about it.
Yeah, I knew that. We went through this before.
Change it?
We can't change state code.
If they turn it in, they can get it figured. That's all elected officials or?
No, just.
Supervisors,
Supervisors?
yeah,
The reason for that originally, I went through this once before, was that our supervisors are supposed to be taking the road to Algona different and checking things as they come to the meeting. It was an old time law.
olden days.
The olden days when, people didn't drive so much, it was so that the supervisors knew what the conditions of the roads were in the country. That's the way it was explained to me at one time, once they changed the original intent of the law. That's what was told to me. It makes sense. Anything else to come before the good of Kossuth County? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion by Clamp, second by Casey. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.
Hey Tammy, you give us this box?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're very welcome, Mary.